Welcome back to another episode of the Sarasota County Schools In Tune podcast. I'm Chris Parento, your host for today's episode, where we focus on our school choice or controlled open enrollment window, where families have the opportunity to apply for a seat at any of our traditional public schools. On today's episode, I'm joined by Millie Wheeler from our school choice office and Diane Caminati from our Office of Planning. Thank you both for being here today. Millie, let's start with the timing of the controlled open enrollment window. When does it start? When does it close? And when will families be notified if their student or students have received a seat at their requested school?
This year, the school choice application window will be open beginning on February 3rd through March 3rd. That's a Monday through a Monday. The notifications will go out by the beginning of April for families, and they will receive an email notification and also a notification within their Focus Parent portal.
Are families able to apply for more than one school where they can rank their priorities?
Great question. Yes, families can apply for up to 3 schools, but do not have to. If they really know they only want to be at one particular school, they can just choose that school. It's also important to note that if a student is placed in a school of choice number 2 or 3, they will not be placed on the waitlist for school choice number 1. But if they are unable to be placed in any of the 3 selections, they will be placed on the wait list for their number 1 choice.
Diane, things are a little bit different this year with the opening of Skye Ranch School starting in August. How does school choice factor in when planning to open a new school in the district?
So we don't factor in choice when opening a new school. We create a new boundary for that school and then reserve capacity for the students living in the zone and then for future growth. So once we have an idea of what enrollment will be for opening the new school, we apply a 90% factor on school's permanent capacity.
When you're doing all of this planning for opening a new school, a lot of it is based on alleviating some of the overcrowding at certain schools, but also planning for future growth in those areas, right?
We're not going to build a school just to build a school because of growth. We're going to look at overcapacity at the current schools. Because that's the main reason to open a new school is to alleviate overcapacity at existing schools.
Let's talk about the families that are impacted by the boundary changes involving Ashton and Lakeview Elementary Schools and Sarasota Middle. Do those families have the option to try to choice back into their current school?
The seats at those schools may be limited, but they are welcome to apply, and if they are unable to be placed by the lottery, then they will be placed on a wait list.
With a few hundred students having their attendance zones changed because of the new boundaries for Skye Ranch School, that doesn't mean that there will be hundreds of open seats at these schools, right?
Each school has a permanent capacity, which is the number of student stations at that school. And we take this capacity and apply a 90% utilization to it. That is the capacity we used in determining school choice. Any seats available after applying that utilization is what we could possibly open to school choice.
I think that one of the questions that people wonder as they're getting ready to apply to try to choice into a different public school is, will I still have transportation? Will that still be provided if my student currently rides a bus?
Students attending a school of choice do not receive district-provided transportation. The parent would be responsible for transporting that student to and from school.
Let's talk about the lottery process. Once the window to apply closes, what does that look like? What preferential weights are there that are given to students, and how does that all play out?
Well, it takes a little bit of time for us to go through and validate the data to make sure that if a family applied using a preference such as a sibling preference, that our team can go through and make sure that that information is correct in the application. And once all of that validation has been done, then our student information system will run the lottery, and it is randomly generated to place those students. The students that do have a validated preference will get a slight weighting in the lottery, but again, it's still not guaranteed.
And a lot of those preferential weightings are driven by state law.
Absolutely, yes. There is a list in statute that very clearly spells out who shall get a weighting within the school choice process.
Where can parents go as they're planning out what they might want to do to look at capacity at our schools and see what might be available, but also find out more information about all of this?
Families can go to the Sarasota County Schools website. Once there, they can search for school choice in the search box, and it should take them to that section of the website where they can review policies and procedures around school choice, applications for how to apply, and an updated list of capacity by grade level at each school.
These capacity numbers are kind of a moving target, right? So if somebody's on a wait list after the notifications go out, that doesn't mean they have no shot of getting into the choice school they want for the start of the next school year.
When the district team meets to set these initial choice numbers, we're pretty far out from actual registration and enrollment. So we do look at a variety of different data points, including historical enrollments and planning data from the community. But it is very likely that there could be additional seats that do open up at the school. Sarasota County Public Schools is unique in that we do try to open at least a few seats at every school. So you will see some of our schools have very limited capacity, but we do look to see where can we possibly squeeze in a few extra students to provide the opportunity for the community to apply for those schools if that's truly where they want to attend. So the waitlist is monitored throughout the summer. If additional seats become available at those schools, the families will be contacted by the Office of School Choice and provided an opportunity through July to accept that seat if they so choose.
If a student got accepted last year into a choice seat at one school, do they have to apply again this year for that same school?
If a student is currently attending a school on school choice and wishes to remain at that same school for next year, there is no need to reapply. Families have questions or want to be sure, they can absolutely reach out to the Office of School Choice and we will be happy to provide them with that information. It is important to note, however, that once the student reaches the highest grade level at that school, that choice seat does not guarantee placement within the feeder pattern. So if they wanted to attend the next middle school or high school outside of their zone, they would need to reapply at that time.
Does this apply to magnet programs, special schools, things like that?
No, families cannot use the traditional school choice lottery to apply for a specialized program. If they're interested in attending a magnet program, they would need to contact that school to inquire about specific application process and requirements. And if they're interested in a specialized program, such as a gifted magnet program or an ESE specialized program, then I would encourage them to reach out to the ESE liaison at their current or zoned school for more information.
If there are families that don't currently go to a Sarasota County traditional public school, can they apply during this window?
Yes, families who are not currently attending a traditional Sarasota County school are absolutely welcome to apply for school choice. I would welcome them to visit the Sarasota County Schools website at sarasotacountyschools.net. And on the homepage during the school choice window, there will be a banner that they can click on, and it will take them to a set of directions. Families who are not currently attending one of our traditional schools may have to start by creating a Focus Parent Portal account to be able to apply for their student, but we would love to have them apply and certainly welcome them to do so. In addition, if families are wishing to return to the district, they can always return to their zoned school without going through the school choice process.
Millie and Diane, thank you both for your insight today and for being here. And thank you to all of you for listening. Don't forget, you can go to sarasotacountyschools.net and search school choice for all of this information and more. There you'll also find digital brochures about each of our traditional public schools so that you can learn more and make our traditional public schools your choice.